And we're live. Welcome to the Magentleman Podcast. I'm Steve B, and that's Steve T. If you're here for the nth time, we love and appreciate you. If you're checking us out for the first time, we hope to see you here again. Um, so today we're going to be reacting to some cool stuff that Steve T has been looking into. I'm excited. I hope you guys are also.
Yes, I'm excited. And this first one here is called Crew AI. And it's basically a whole team of agents that sort of coordinate and work together to, it looks like, build landing pages, which is pretty cool. Let's see if we can see the example. Where's the example of this one? Actually, let me do this. So how have you been, CB?
I've been great, I guess. I mean, still enjoying myself in Colombia. About to head back to the States in about like 3 weeks now. But yeah, I mean, work's been good, business has been good.
Hey, and welcome to my full.
No complaints.
So just give it a minute and we'll be back. Okay, we're done. Agent, you still need to assign it as a list. So we're gonna say agent or info search, or like I mentioned, the PDF search. The fourth concept is pretty simple, and this is. And then finally, download a model using Ollama so we can run that.
Yeah, so I guess one of the things that in my research of AI that we need to be pretty familiar with is Hugging Face. It's almost like the Git repo of different LLMs and models. And Crew AI is one of them. So you can run it yourself. And it basically coordinates several agents in theory here to build yourself landing pages and different designs fully using code. So, it could take you, because right now
code generated by the I guess AI. Yeah. So would it like auto commits to this repo?
Yeah, I mean, you could take the code and do, whatever kind of automatic actions you want after that if you wanted to.
Okay.
But really, I would imagine this as a piece of a workflow, like because a lot of marketing teams will do landing page design to have different landing pages, I guess, and they'll want different layouts. And so even right now, AI is generating those layouts, like as far as the way they should look, but actually taking it fully through to, let's say, on BigCommerce, outputting something you could just paste in, or on Shopify, or these different systems. Because what would be nice, right, is to imagine a screen where 4 or 5 concepts pop up, sort of like these image AI generating ones. You choose one, and then it generates 5 more similar to that one. And now you're whittling down to what you want. And then you should be able to, at the very end of it, sort of move the things around yourself a little bit. And then if you wanted, just copy and paste it over. So this was a pretty cool one. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I mean, in theory, it sounds good. I'm always like, I mean, I've used, this is like more front end stuff, right? But I've used Chat GPT to generate code and stuff. I think for me, and again, I'm not a front end person, but I'm like wary because it's like,
I have ever
how do you make sure that like what you have in your head is what is going to actually, like, are you just accepting AI almost like when it comes to design, are you accepting that whatever model you're using is like now a collaborator, and their vision of what you want to happen is what you're going to accept? Because I mean, like, for example, I mean, if you worked with a designer, right, you kind of just describe what you want and then they interpret it and output it a certain way. And I guess that's kind of what we're accepting this workflow to be. Or because it's like kind of weird, like, how do I know this thing's going to build, like, okay, this is what was put out to me, am I accepting this as the best version of the thing that I described, right? As the design that I envisioned.
Right.
I guess you have the same issue with humans, right? Is the thing that the product owner or the customer envisioned, is that what the designer actually outputted? So maybe my concerns there are maybe invalidated by the fact that humans interpret stuff and then output their interpretation of it the same way that AI would be doing it, and we're just going to accept that. Go ahead.
No, I think you're right. I mean, I think you touch on an important thing that also I've kind of come across when looking into AI and stuff, is that I almost think all the jobs that went remote during this AI thing are going to just become agents. So any remote person would just become sort of, eventually that job will be automated in some way. And the actual important thing that we as people are still going to do is go to an office together. And because just like what you just said, like, okay, so it's generating my pages, but how do I know that the page it generates is really the best type of page to generate? That's still that person you would need to trust, right? It's either going to be yourself or it's going to be your head of marketing or website. They're going to be the one that looks at all those options and says, this is the one that makes the most sense, right? And it's that human trust still has to be built in. I think you're touching an important thing.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, yeah, just super interesting. You were gonna pull up something else?
Yeah, I got another one here. Let's watch a little bit of this.
Wow. Very impressive. So it really does seem like multiple open source models working together are really good at logic and reasoning. Mixture of Agents just came out last week and it beats GPT 4.0. And the way that it's done is by allowing multiple open source large language models to collaborate with each other to output the best possible output. And I already did a review of the paper, but today what we're going to do is put it through the LLM.
And the headline is, it does good. So
Interesting.
yeah.
So basically Chat GPT, Bard, whatever the other AI flavors are out there, someone got them to collaborate, like what, via API or something?
No, these are all the lesser agents working together. They have competed now at the level of GPT-4. So and what he's basically going to say after this video is, and so the big boys are going to now apply this pattern too, and that's what everybody's sort of working on a lot, is how can we mix our agents to, just like you said, have the like the underpinnings of these larger ones be a mixture. I'm sure it already is to some extent, but
they're all scraping the same data. they're scraping your tweets. Make sure you tweet nice things.
Well, so here's the thing, like, for instance, a agent that can read and write HTML really well, or CSS, if you ask it certain kinds of questions, it's going to want to give very technical kinds of answers. But an agent that's, let's say, is really trained well in the law, it will be able to communicate law stuff to someone without necessarily giving those type of, really complex technical answers. But a mixture of agents set up could sort of have a conductor where you're asking a question to a certain agent, and that agent's job is just to go check with the other agents. That way you don't have your law and your tech stuff sort of bleeding in and getting these weird overlapping answers.
It's interesting. So I'd like to kind of understand the underpinnings of this collaboration between, because I mean, I talked about potentially doing it over an API. I mean, most of our communication, human to language model interfacing, is through text. So I guess, like, from an implementation level, how do you get them to collaborate? That's that's pretty interesting to me. Like I want to know like how they're actually like how all of that actually works. How do you get multiple AIs to talk to each other? Do you like have you looked into like I guess the underpinnings of all of that?
Well, yeah, I mean that's this sort of this video, so I would definitely recommend you check it out and everybody sort of get into. It's called Mixture of Agents. It's sort of an architecture. And yeah, it came
Okay.
out like this video is dated 1 month ago, right? So, and that's sort of one of the other things I noticed in this work I'm doing is like some of this stuff is so new and coming out as we go that it's like, you know how they will have job postings and they're like, oh, we want 5 years of experience, but you're like, that came out 2 years ago or something. This field is so popping that like even the biggest things are, yeah, popping, you know. it's off the hook right now because even the things that are like the biggest inventions or whatever are like 4 or 5 months old. So, you know, if we can sort of dig in, that's my idea, is to at least learn about these things that are happening. Because
you said this work that you're doing, what work are you doing?
Oh, I just meant the research into like the topic of what's going on with
Okay,
AI.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you were building something like maybe an internal or external tool at your job, or just kind of tinkering around on your own.
Well, I will show. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
show one more. I have this plugin I have been using called Scribe AI. So let's just check this out real quick. And basically, at my job, a lot of times I'll need to basically create a new feature and then describe how that feature is working to people. Like, you go here in the admin, and then you do this, and then you do that. And I can't actually see if you can see my screen very well right now. So give me 1 second.
I'm still seeing the Mixture of Agents video.
Okay. Let me do this then. Tell me if you can see that better now.
Yeah, I can see this is what some slides, or is this a site?
It's called Scribe AI.
Yeah, I'm asking like what are we actually like looking at? Is this a web page?
Yeah, like so basically watch this.
Scribe turns
Okay. A video. I'm actually familiar with Scribe. I use it to make documentation.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I've been using it at work a lot. So it's instead of me going through right and clicking you know, to do every step and write everything and create, you know, all these screenshots. It did one for me the other day that took me 5 minutes that would have taken me an hour or two before a big meeting that I needed it done that quick anyway. So it's awesome. And like AI is just becoming really useful, I think. So I am spending some of my side time researching what's going on with it.
It's funny because I didn't necessarily put Scribe in the AI bucket. I mean, how do you think AI is being leveraged for implemented within Scribe? Because I thought it was just, you know, reading the page elements and based off of whatever page element you click. But I didn't realize it was leveraging AI.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's at least what's it called? Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely AI.
Maybe just I had no idea, because I mean all of these, to be honest, like all of the tools that leverage AI, they just like I feel like because I've been using Scribe way before the I guess the AI explosion, before ChatGPT became like common knowledge and stuff like that. And I don't think they really put it out there that they're leveraging AI technology. Maybe I just didn't pay attention to any of their like marketing or anything like that. But yeah, I didn't realize it was doing that. I just assumed we were using some basic I don't know, some basic logic to determine what is important on the page. So you actually taught me something about a tool that I've been using for a while.
Yeah. So this last one I'll show you is WebLM. So you can run your LLM right in your browser. And you can even load just whatever one you want from like Hugging Face or whatever. These ones come, I think, with OpenAI as the default, but yeah, they're pretty cool. Like, for instance, this one, give me 1 second. Not Open Devon. Yeah, because I set up my own in oh sorry. Yeah, actually I might not have that one. But have you heard of Arboretum?
I have not, no.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's like a large multi-model data set for AI biodiversity, which means like, you know, basically it's trained on so many bio images that you can show it an image of something and it will know. It can basically tell you what it is. It's almost like Shazam for bugs or something.
Interesting. Yeah, I wanted to build some. Well, there's stuff like this for plants, but I actually wanted to do something like this a while back. I forget what exactly I wanted to identify. Anyway, yeah, this is super cool. You're saying this is an actual model, or is it the data set? No, it's a data set. There's
Yeah, like you could feed this into your, you
mhm,
know, thing, and then it can basically generate, I guess, new pictures or pictures of
mhm,
existing wildlife.
interesting.
Or
Um,
or you could use it in that way like I described, right? Where you can train it on the data and then show your thing a picture and say, does it look like anything you know? And it should be able, I mean, I would think if you did a good job, it might be able to pick out what it is, right?
yeah, I mean, I would hope so. I saw like a while back there was this company, I forget the name of it, but basically all they do is they create data sets and sell them to large corporations i- in order for them to train their AI models. So pretty interesting, like I guess concept and business. I wonder if there's like any particular data sets out there that are like unexplored that'd be like an opportunity to create and sell to Google or something.
Yeah. I mean, I've always had the idea, and I guess I'll just share it with the world of like last mile of Google Maps, because when you get off of Google Maps at your destination, let's say a grocery store or something, there's still a whole maze to navigate through. So I wonder if there's sort of an area there of like roaming robots and some AI mapping that could somehow do the inside of the store and help you find things.
That's an interesting concept. I actually did like undergrad research in quotes about basically mapping indoor environments
Mhm.
and in different technologies that could be used for that. But I think like the problem you would run into with something like that is like stores get reorganized all the time, like they move products around and stuff like that. So then you'd have to remap so often, which isn't a problem with like um you said like the last mile, well, the first 99 miles, right? Stores like physical structures don't move that often. Red lights don't get added, like someone like houses don't get destroyed like within a day. But like a store, well, you could have the chips at this end cap today, and then and then they have juice there tomorrow, or they decide to move the makeup section to one place. I guess most of the store kind of stays static, but a lot moves around in a department store. So I think that would be a little bit more intense than again the first 99 miles, right? To use the same terminology. But the concept is dope though, because for example, going to the mall is like if you go to a really big mall, it's so hard to find unless you've been to the mall like a bunch of times. It's so hard to figure out
Well, and I
what
think
even
you could put that,
what floor you're on. Go ahead.
you could put that more on like a once a month scan too, like
Yeah.
a big mall, because that you're right, that moves around a lot less, like the storefronts at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's I like that entry point for that idea. You're right, you kind of destroyed it for the very last mile.
No, I wasn't I wasn't saying it was a horrible idea.
No,
I was
no,
just
it
saying
just
it's a difficult problem to solve compared
you're
to
right. And the
yeah.
AI doesn't. It's almost like a hardware, like how can we scan that many times a day issue at that point.
Yeah.
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 But super dope. I definitely like your idea.
Cool. Well, we'll definitely cover more next time. I have a whole list here, and I'm going to keep looking into this stuff. I'm into it, and yeah, I mean, we can chop it up or put this one out the way it is. I'm just glad to be back and get some cadence going again. The Gentleman Podcast.
No, I think it was I mean super quick, but I mean, like you said, we just need that momentum back. So I'm just gonna do the outro. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the Gentleman Podcast. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know what we should react to next. If you have anything cool that you think we should be looking into, we just appreciate you checking out our video, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.